we're recording now, and I know you're down there in Florida, and you're at your aunt's house, and we just went through the hurricane down there in Florida. You survived it, and family survived it. Everyone's safe. You're still trying to get back up into that Southwest Florida area. You're in the South Florida, right? You're South.
No, right now I am in the Wellington Lake Worth area. I am northeast of in the state of Florida. I'm between Fort Pierce, which I heard it took a lot of hits from the tornadoes. Wellington, there were a lot of tornadoes here as well, and then between South Florida, which it was that rainy day as usual, not a big deal. I'm not back yet home in Southwest Florida and Fort Myers. For hopefully tomorrow I'll return. But I heard that my house and my business was not hurt too much, so that's a win. I am more concerned because when I left it on Monday, we evacuated, and on Sunday I was not sure if we were going to evacuate, but I said, well, if we're not going to have electricity, we have a generator, but I'm not going to be able to cook. So I cooked all day, all freaking day. I cooked a lot of stuff. And then I made some salmon on the air fryer, and I left it on the air fryer.
Oh, man.
So now when I come back, it's going to smell like rotten fish no matter what. Yeah. So then maybe they break the doors or something because they think that somebody's dead, or I don't know. I don't know about that, but that's my Milton issue, my salmon and my
well, that's not a bad story. That's actually a pretty good one. I like it. I'm glad you're safe and the family.
I hope that's the worst thing that will happen to me when I return to
I'm sure that's it. Bad fish in the fryer is about it. Yes. That's great.
Exactly.
So at this point, Marilyn Santiago, you are the guest on Elevate Today. So I'm going to say welcome everyone to Elevate Today. I am your host, Chris Thompkins, and we have today Marilyn Santiago, who is from Fort Myers, Florida, a superstar in her own right. And what we're going to do, and how we usually begin, Marilyn, is I'm basically going to please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. I know you hail from Puerto Rico as well, and you can tell us a little bit about where you come from. Really share.
Well, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. It's a pleasure to be here, Chris. Try to elevate everybody. Elevate. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I lived until I graduated from college in Puerto Rico. Regular traditional family, beautiful matriarchal family. I was raised with my mother and my grandmother. Strong, beautiful women that I learned a lot from them, to be resilient, to never put up with nobody's BS, and to respect others. I studied in Puerto Rico and I graduated from college, and my first job was working as a manager for 4 radio stations in Puerto Rico. That was the beginning of my career in entertainment, which spanned for probably like 40 years. Oh my God, you were not born. Like 40 years. And still kicking it sometimes. It was a beautiful life that I had there, and unfortunately I had to move because I was suffering from domestic violence. But that's not the issue. We're going to talk about this today.
Right.
We're going to talk about some other things. But I relocated.
Okay. No, go ahead. Finish about what
I relocated from Puerto Rico when my mother passed away. There's a thing when you lose your mother, it's like you don't need to be in that place anymore. Like you feel the essence is lost. And I come from a family that is a little old. I was my grandmother's younger granddaughter, and I'm 58. My grandmother was born in 1890. So traditions were different and everything was different. And my mother passed away. I was very young. I was going through some issues, and I didn't want to compromise the well-being of my family, or so I thought I was doing that. And I relocated to Chicago, where I lived for like 12 years, and was the continuation of what I mentioned, a career in the entertainment industry. I worked in Puerto Rico managing 4 radio stations. I moved to Chicago, and first I started working. Well, first I started working on a daily pay, one of those like you work at a factory and they pay you like $30 a day.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I need to do my hair. So I couldn't find a job right away. So I went to the daily pay so I can color my roots.
Gotta get through the hair, right?
I needed to be redhead at that time. You know? So I was working with them and I was like, oh my God, I can be the boss of the boss of the boss of your boss. And then the boss told me, but I'm the boss now, so you better pack that stuff. And I'm, okay, no problem. So, but then I started doing a lot of networking, and thankfully I met a lot of important people in the area, and they introduced me to the director of the Puerto Rico Federal Affairs Office, which is basically, Puerto Rico was not a colony of the United States. It would be like the embassy. Okay. I became the assistant director and the secretary of press secretary. And basically I did everything that to manage that office. I was the brain behind that operation. We worked together with a lot of organizations, and we participated in a lot of things. We produced film festivals. We helped the community, and we enhanced the relationships between the Puerto Ricans in the island with the Puerto Ricans in Chicago.
That's beautiful.
It's a very interesting diaspora. They moved. They were moving to Chicago in the 50s.
Yeah.
And by that time, the neighborhood where they were located, it's called Humboldt Park. Beautiful place. The houses, 3-story gray stones, you know, magnificent houses. But it was, by that time, it was ghetto, and they were buying those monstrosities of houses for $30,000-$40,000. At that time, it was a lot, but they were saving, and they were responsible working class, and they bought all those houses, and it became, right now, it's one of the most solicited and the most expensive areas in Chicago. So Park, number one.
All right. All right.
So I was working there, and they changed government, you know, when the politics happened, you know, on Puerto Rico as well. If you're not on the party, you know, you're gone. So thankfully, before that, they invited me to go and work at a radio station as an on-air personality, since I was managing radio stations. And at that time, I still do a lot of commercials, like voiceovers for movies and commercials and Walgreens and stuff like that. So when they opened the station, a few colleagues that they work in the voiceover industry, they told me, hey, they opened a radio station and they want you in. And I was like, okay, perfect. So I started working on the radio in Chicago in 1992, 1993-ish, or something like that.
Okay.
The only tropical station in Chicago, which was like super cool. It was like the salsa merengue.
Yeah.
And I was in charge of like a month later, they made me the boss, the program director of the radio station, and I was in charge of the overall on-air product, which means like everything that came out of the speakers was my responsibility. I needed to make sure that everything was tight, that the audience, the two type of clients that the station has, which is the audience, the people that are listening to the station, and the customers, the clients, you know, they were both happy, and they were having a good ROI. So
gotcha.
I worked there until 2003. In 2003, I moved to Miami. I was supposed to take a sabbatical and go to Tuscany for a year, like the movie Under the Tuscan Sun.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping for it, but I'm still in it. But I had an offer. I got an offer I couldn't refuse. Actually, sadly, the person that connected me to that opportunity just recently died. He was the director of WADO, which is WADO, the news, Spanish news station in New York. It's a monstrosity of a radio station, you know, a powerful station. And sadly, he just passed away, Daniel Ortiz. He recommended me to some people, to Tony Hernandez, and I was invited to join Latino Broadcasting, which is another broadcasting company, but I was in charge of affiliations. I was in charge of syndicating their programming, which basically is how you have a radio station. You don't want to pay a big amount of money for an on-air personality. Then I go for you and I tell you, I have this person is going to provide for you daily capsules on rotation for your station in exchange of some advertising space on the station. So I was giving them a valuable product for their station so that they can represent better the community and they have more prestige. And I was selling all those bulk spots on all the radio stations. So it was a win-win situation for everyone.
Yes.
In Miami, I realized that Miami is a market that offers a lot of opportunities for people that are creative and who wants to do evolve. And I decided to quit my job. I asked my boss, I was like, hey, boss, do you think you can become my client if I quit the job and I charge you like a third of what you are paying me now, but I keep you as a client? And he was like, hell yes.
So wait. You because we're going to get into, you have your own business and you live in Fort Myers, which is about 2.5 hours north of Miami. And we're going to get to how you get there. But, because you're giving us this chronological events of things taking place. But what I keep hearing is your entrepreneurship coming through. You are a seriously business-minded person. It's almost like you were born that way.
Business. I'm in business, baby. And I see the potential of people and I tell them the things that they should do. Sometimes I should apply myself because I could be less broke. But yes, I have a business mind. I have a business acumen. I get that from my family. My family has been very successful in the developing all kinds of businesses, and not only that, in generating ideas. Okay.
Wait now.
Ideas.
I remember having a conversation with you some time ago. Your family was into coffee as well in Puerto Rico. Is that correct?
We had a coffee plantation, but it was more like a hotel.
Okay.
It was more like a hotel. It was not an active. We were hoping to activate it, but it was not meant to be at that time. So they sold it. But it was what they call a parador. It's like a beautiful bed and breakfast, like a country inn.
Yes.
It was a coffee plantation from the 18th century, and they basically, my family, refurbish it. Very smart and knowledgeable cousin of mine, Junito Radames. He's very good at restoring antiques and sculptures and other things. So he too had the opportunity to regenerate a lot of elements and make them look like they were from the 19th century, and it was beautiful. So it was more of a hotel, but everybody worked together, and I was in the kitchen serving food. I didn't want to go and clean up rooms and stuff. I'm like, I don't clean my bed. I don't clean my room. I'm not going to go and clean up somebody else's room. Give me a break.
So what I'm hearing from you, Marilyn, because I know the business you're currently in, this in Puerto Rico, it was almost like it was preparing you for what you're doing right now. It's the story, right? Because can we jump to Fort Myers yet, or are we still? Are you ready?
It's one little ahead. I realized it in 2013. I realized that the entertainment industry was very superficial, very impersonal, and with me, you know me, what you see is what you get, and I don't like to be taken advantage of. And I came across a lot of people that in the industry, it's normal. And then you realize that there's in all industries there are people like that. They're very opportunistic, and they talk to you thinking of what they can get out of you. And if they don't, then they block you, or they show their true colors. And that, for me, that hurts, and I don't like that. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna change industries, and I'm gonna reinvent myself, which is something that I encourage a lot of people to do, because there's not only one thing that you could be good at. You can be good at a lot of things, and if you can give it a try. I know you're a great painter, and we'll talk about that later. So you are very impressive as well, Chris, and we have mentioned that's your career, your law, and a lot of other things. So I encourage people to be able to explore the things that they can be good at and give it a try. So I said, I'm going to reinvent myself. So I'm just getting a hell out of here. And my partner in life was Steven Russell. At that time, I met him in Miami. And he sold his company when the economy collapsed, and it was a factory that provided services to the construction industry. Manufacturing architectural elements made out of polyurethane resin. So basically like the happy medium between foam and stone, or wood and foam, and for the construction industry. So it was completely different, but it was challenging and interesting. And I told him, well, let's put together a business plan and let's try to secure some funding. And 11 years later, we are in Fort Myers with a strong company poised for success, and hopefully alive when we get back to Fort Myers after the hurricane.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, it'll be there. I know it'll be there.
So that's what took me to Fort Myers. I was reinventing myself, and it was very challenging for me because as a Latina, there are not that many Latinos in Fort Myers. I'm not the typical person. I'm not a regular. I'm 6 feet, 200 pounds with a big mouth and with an accent. So a lot of people are not ready for my energy. And I did not know anybody. So I had to do a lot of networking, get to know a lot of people.
Wait. Let's talk about the networking part. You're in this brand new place.
Nobody.
You know no one. And you become a very successful.
I follow a guy.
What is the secret sauce? What's the secret sauce of the networking? Come on, share it, Marilyn.
The secret sauce is be yourself. Be yourself. And like I do a lot of sessions to companies and to organizations, helping them with the networking issue, because it can become an issue, especially in people that they need to fundraise or that they need to do sales and stuff. Networking is like when you have fear of flying, unless you want to walk to California, you're gonna have to take a plane. So you have to get over that fear and make it happen. So I remember going to some events and without knowing anybody, and I'm like, I need to own this room before I leave. So let me just go and hi, my name is Marilyn. I'm new here. You're the first person I meet. How are you? Blah blah blah. And be myself. I'm just being myself, my true crazy self. And engaging and connecting. So it's not just that you meet somebody and you forget about that right away. When I left the networking, I found them on Facebook. I found them on social media. I sent them a text. It was nice to meet you. I started dealing with them on sending emails and connecting and engaging. So you need to follow up. Just be yourself and follow up.
Okay, so that's the key.
That's the key.
Networking is not just meeting someone at the moment, saying hello, thank you, here's my business card. It's really beginning a relationship. Creating a relationship is what you're telling me. That's what you do.
Yes, I remember when I back a little bit, when I was in Miami and I decided to go solo. The first week, and I did that on purpose. The first week that I went basically solo, that I opened my business, that I was, showcasing what I was going to do and stuff like that. I went to a convention, the billboards, the Latin billboards. It's like a big music convention. Excuse me. And I was giving cards to everybody. Hey, my car. I remember that the last day of the conferences before the awards show, I remember telling a friend of mine, we go up to the pool area and we lay back at a lounge and have a margarita or some alcoholic beverage. And he's like, how did it go, Marilyn? What do you think? And I told him, Pablo, if I accomplish only a 10% of all the crap we talk during this 2 to 4 days, I'm going to be rich. Okay. So the point is when you network, chances are that you will not do a lot of things right there. Okay. But you need to create that top of mind awareness so that when people need something that you have, they will reach out to you. That's what makes a difference.
Gotcha. So when you have a sunshine personality. Yes. When I first met you, I just gravitated towards you. It was like a magnet. I mean, you just have that personality. You just pull people in.
I got issues, man. I'll keep going.
Yeah. You do. You pull people in.
You just need to hear my issues.
Yeah, you do. You pull people in, right? So, and you just have this feeling that you embrace folks. You embrace people. You make folks feel good. You make people feel really welcome. And
well, there's some jerks too, when you find yourself a jerk, you just have to say, you know what? Fluff you.
So yeah, of course there's jerks, but I evidently am not the jerk because I didn't get that treatment, right?
No, you were adorable. No, I fell in love with your art. Remember, I fell in love with your art. I was like, oh my God, who's this guy? Look at this. This is beautiful. You are very talented, young man. You are very talented.
Thank you. And thank you for the young part too. But I think there's a message in that whatever you're going through, leave it at the door when you're going out there networking. Bring that self that needs to be there, right?
You have to. Even if you just bring yourself and I'm not saying that you need to be like all over. So if you're introvert, if you're shy, if you are whatever your personality is, just bring it. And I have been with people that they have come to me and they say, my name is so and so. I'm very shy. I'm here because I have to do this, and I acknowledge that. I'm like, you know what? Good job, man. Give me your card, and if I need you, I'll call you. And that's the name of it. That's how it goes.
It sounds like just be yourself means be real and be authentic. Just whatever that is. And because that left an impression on you that I'm here because I have to do, I'm doing this because I have to.
I need some clients. I'm here because I need some clients. I need to meet people,
And they were just being real. So it's like, okay, that's another secret sauce ingredient that's an ingredient, right?
I like it.
I like it too. We're sharing things here because our audience comes in and listens in or watches looking for encouragement or inspiration, learn something new, hear stories from people that they may know, but they may not know, whatever the stories are. And I know that one of the things we're going to talk about are Latinos in business and in the corporate world in business. Period, whether you're employed or
one of the reasons why I from the beginning I knew that I had to become an entrepreneur is the fact that sadly Latinas make only 53 cents per dollar of a white man in corporate America. Okay, so from $1, if a white man makes, and I bless their hearts, okay. But if a white male makes $100,000, chances are that a Latina woman in the same position or with the similar responsibilities is going to make $53,000, and that's not cool. So I started sensing that from the moment I started working, and I saw that I was not being paid accordingly. According to my expertise or according to my knowledge, my experience, my degrees, my credentials. So from the beginning, I knew that eventually I was going to have to go solo and set up my own pace and make my own money. Okay. And that was what inspired me to become an entrepreneur and take that chance. And knowing that if I didn't get my butt up to work, I will not eat.
Yes.
And I like eating, you know.
Yes.
And I remember they at the beginning they asked me, how are you doing? I said, well, sometimes I eat lobster, sometimes I eat mac and cheese from a box, depending on how I did.
Yes.
So,
yes.
but it encouraged me to develop my own plan of action, and like we were talking earlier, it's that you realize that you are good at not only one thing, and it brings out your creativity, and your self-esteem will get better. You will see that you can excel at other things that you were not aware of. And that's pretty awesome.
That is amazing. I love
that. So
that.
now I'm like, what can I do well that I can make good money so that I can go on a trip or something?
Okay. Okay. So what is something that's on your mind? So no, that you do architectural products. You have a highly successful business in Fort Myers. And wait a minute, you were in Times Square on the big board out there. Like, what was that about? Tell us talk about it.
Yes, it was very it was beautiful. It was humbling. A magazine in Miami called Women in Business, they put together a group of professionals, of business owners, and young women that they were either starting or in the process of developing their skills, so that they could network and grow together in areas of entrepreneurship and accounting and finances and marketing and other elements, you know, and everybody was helping each other. And they asked me to be their godmother. So they put the magazine, and as a surprise, they put up all the ladies that were part of the movement of Women in Business, and they threw me there in Times Square, and I was like, oh my God, it was a big deal.
You were up on that big screen in Times Square.
It was, and then they sent me the video. I didn't know. They sent me the video, and they were like, Sasha. And I was like, oh my God, I started crying.
Oh, wow. Wow. Congratulations.
It was awesome. It was
Congratulations.
Awesome. Sometimes it's the things like that you said, wow, I'm making a difference when you do things with passion and with love, and you don't stop to think the what you make out of other people, what you inspire in other people, and when they did that, it felt really freaking awesome.
Yes, it sounds awesome. You know, and I'm going to ask you about, you do a lot of volunteer work.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, and I know there's different places you volunteer, but you just started another volunteer organization or founded, because I've been seeing it in my Facebook feed. You want to talk about it, or is there something new that you're doing?
There's something new. Yeah, it's about mental health. Okay. It's called Carolina's Compassionate Fund. This is a really good friend of mine, Carolina Ferrer, which I hope you bring her to your show, because we need to create some awareness and hopefully do a little fundraising as well. Carolina has a very successful business. She has a counseling center, and she finds a lot of people that they are going through depression, anxiety, and a lot of mental issues. Nowadays, mental health is a massive issue that we don't know. It takes every age, every generation, people that you don't know that they're going through it. I just lost a girlfriend like a month ago. She committed suicide, and we didn't know because the signs were not there. You know, it breaks my heart, and her family is devastated, and they didn't even know either. So there's a lot of issues that as a generation, as a community, we all need to address. And she put together a nonprofit organization that will help people that cannot afford counseling sessions to have free counseling sessions. Or if you go referred to a clinic from a clinic or church or something, and they can pay like 2-3 sessions and they're not done with you, you need more, then they will cover those extra sessions as well. So it's a very important that we try to help everybody have good mental health and help ourselves as well. I myself, I'm going through so many things that I need to work on, that I know that I do need help. I have to acknowledge that. And
Yes.
And I'm trying to have other people deal with that as well, and create some awareness on that. So promise me that you're going to interview Carolina.
I am definitely going to interview Carolina. I'm looking up Carolina's Fun. Is Carolina's Fun starts is in Fort Myers area, or where is it?
Yes, in Gateway.
In Gateway. Okay, great. And I'll look for that. I'll put notices up in the body of this podcast once it airs, also about cool. Carolina's Fun as well.
Thank you.
Right. With contact information, as well as contact information for you if you want to, whatever you want it to be, email address.
My social media, find me on Facebook. I'm always
Facebook. There. Yeah, you're always on Facebook. You definitely are on
But
Facebook.
Then I have other organizations that I always get involved with. There's so many things that we can do, and I try to live with the philosophy. Japanese philosophy is called Ikigai. Ikigai is the science, the philosophy of finding your purpose. And it involves 4 things. Do what you like, do it well, change the world, and make money, because you need to live out of something. All those 4 elements, you put them like in circles, and the middle point is your Ikigai, and that's your purpose in life. So I'm trying to get involved in as many organizations as I can, without affecting my mental health, because sometimes I go crazy, like, oh my God, I have no time. But it's good to help others and help guide others when they need a little push. There's nothing wrong with that.
You volunteer all over the place. When I say, you're on Facebook, I don't mean you're on Facebook doing selfies. I mean, you're on Facebook doing work.
Yeah,
helping others,
doing
posting
work,
it up,
inviting people to stuff, and try to get some good engagement on things that they need to be heard.
People love you. That I know.
Thank you.
I hear it all the time.
I got $100 bill for everybody to love me. My grandma said, no soy un billete de 100 para caerle bien a todo el mundo, pero it can be a 20. I try to be a 20. My goal in life.
Yes. And so if you love Marilyn, then donate to Carolina's Fun.
Carolina's Compassionate Fund. Yeah, put the link, man. We need money. We need to help people to get their mental health straight.
Yes. I will be in touch with you to get in touch with her, get her information as well.
I'll send you right now.
Yes, thank you.
Done, you're going to have it. You're going to say, hey, Sunshine was talking about you. She's phenomenal. So you're going to love her.
There's this thing that we do on the Elevate Today that every guest has to do, and it's a reveal. Now, the request is that you reveal something on the show that you have never told anyone publicly. Privately, friends and family may know. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. It doesn't have to be anything heavy. There was a guest on the show. She's into finance and banking. And her reveal was that she was asked to do stand-up comedy. So that next Thursday, she was actually doing stand-up comedy. Another woman, she had a friend that worked behind the scenes in Broadway. He invited her to come back there. And so she was pushing the button for the phone to ring on a Broadway show. And so now she says, I've been on Broadway. I've played Broadway. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, those kinds of things are some of the reveals that some of the guests have. And so my question to you is, what's your reveal right here today?
Let me see which ones are PG-13. Yeah, because when you're in the entertainment industry, and I'm still, and I'm not getting that, that wine. But no, I always share something funny that I had. It was an experience that I had, and maybe a lot of people have done it. But I was with my favorite cousin, Luisito, male cousin, because I have a competition with favorite female cousins, and I'm not going to talk about that one unless I have a bottle of champagne or something. But my favorite cousin, Luisito, and we went to the Dominican Republic. I was at at a very important music festival in the Dominican Republic. It was called the Festival Presidente. It was the first time that they were putting together that festival, and it was like a massive. It was like a Latin Woodstock, crazy at a stadium that accommodated like 70,000 people, and it was packed. It was really, really packed. And I was talking to one of the performers backstage, and I told him, I asked him, how's that? He said, what do you feel when you are in a venue as massive as this, and you have 70,000 people looking at you while you are, and they're jamming with you?
Yeah.
And I remember that there was a box, matchbox on the table in the trailer at the backstage, and he took a piece of a match and he showed it to me, and he said, Marilyn, when I'm singing to a crowd like this, I look at the last row and I see a person that the size of this matchstick, and seeing that matchstick jumping, the sensation that I feel, brings me the best energy and the most respect and love for my audience. And I was like, oh, that's so pretty. So we were having a few drinks and I was like, oh, I gotta go. I want to go and see what's that reaction. I want to see the public from his view and stuff. So since we were backstage and we were like a little VIP and stuff, we went to the, you know, that on the stage, you have the stage and you have the two towers with the big screens and stuff. Well, we went to the bottom, so on stage, we climbed on one of those towers, and we were watching him perform while we were looking at the people underneath, and nobody saw that we were underneath the big space. So nobody knows about that, but Luisito.
That's something. I mean, who would imagine that? First of all, I would be like, I don't think that's a good idea to climb that tower. And you're like, no, we're going on the tower. Now. We were going on the tower.
We need a crazy cousin to inspire you to push you to the stuff like that. So
I see. Thank you for revealing that. Elevate Today. Marilyn Santiago has revealed that she climbed the tower on stage. Wow.
Just to watch a human phosphorus.
Yes. Yes. So that's unbelievable. But now we're going to go. Here's the question. What else would you like to share that I haven't asked, you haven't spoken about, that you want viewers to know or hear, or what do you want to share? Anything else you want to talk about?
I hope that your audience, besides loving you and following you, because the topics that you choose are very smart and very awesome. I hope that your audience will engage and try to make other people's lives better. Okay. There's so many things that can be done. And sometimes people, they just don't know, or they don't feel motivated, or they just don't care. But I don't want to think that way. I want to think that they need just like a little push, but find something that touches your heart and get involved, because the world needs people helping other people. No matter how small the help could be. It can be volunteering at a soup kitchen and bringing food to people that just lost everything after a hurricane, or it can be, becoming a board member of another organization, creating your own, or just giving money to somebody that is at a stoplight. Who cares what they're doing with that money? You're blessing. God will bless you once you bless others, and that's very important. So my advice to other people is to get involved in whatever makes you feel a better person. It feels really good to help others.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to end our programming today for this episode with you, Marilyn. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, superstar. She is Sunshine Superstar Marilyn Santiago. Thank you so much for being on the show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining Elevate Today with Chris Thompkins. That was our special guest, Marilyn Santiago. We look forward to you joining us again. And until we meet again, let's elevate.